What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. This is the Crypto Lark. Today we're going to be talking about CloakCoin, one of the many coins in the privacy coin space. We're going to be looking at what CloakCoin does, what problems it's solving to seek, and have a pretty big look at the competition and try to think, have we got enough room in the crypto market for all of these privacy coins? Now, before we get into that, quick shout out to everyone who is hitting that like button and subscribing down below to the channel, guys. And of course, really big shout out to everyone who is an existing subscriber, old or new subscriber. Thank you so much for your support, everyone. And if you do want to increase support for the channel, you're welcome to join me over on Patreon as a patron of the channel, or of course, follow me over on Steam at LarkSongbird. Now, let's have a look at CloakCoin and try to figure out what CloakCoin is trying to do. Now, CloakCoin has been seeing a bit of growth recently, even though it's down on the day, because they've launched a new website, which is always, of course, very exciting. Very exciting. So it's a nice, slick-looking website with lots of different things that slow down my computer when it runs, but that's okay. That's okay. Pretty exciting website, though. Now, CloakCoin has been on the scene for quite a long time, though. That is something that does need to be mentioned. CloakCoin was made all the way back in 2014, and there was a bit of drama around this. This is an article from July 23rd, 2015. Basically, what happened with CloakCoin, the original developers made it. There was a big pump and dump that happened. All the original developers got out, and it was taken over by someone different. So this guy named Cashman was the one who took it over and kind of tried to move the project forward from there, because he really liked the CloakCoin project and he believed in it. The original team bailed, unfortunately. So it saw a lot of drama, and if you look at the market cap here for it and the sort of the history, you can see exactly what happened here back in 2014. It was pumped, and dump. And then, of course, everybody who had CloakCoin was left holding bags for a couple of years. In fact, the 24-hour volume got down to the point of like $30 a day. That's how bad it got with CloakCoin. And you know, the market cap was at $32,000. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now, hey, look, the crypto market wasn't super big back in 2014. You do have to keep that in mind. That is something to, you know, not discount by any means. And of course, CloakCoin did stick around. The guys didn't abandon the project. They did keep it going. And of course, it, like every other coin, saw this massive just jump up in value back at the start of June. So we saw CloakCoin get all the way up to its all-time high of 525,000 Satoshi, or $13 US at the time. Of course, that was a long time ago, so it's not necessarily relevant to what the US dollar value was, but 525,000 Satoshis. Now, we've seen a recent spike in CloakCoin, probably even around anticipation of the new website coming out, for example. And so we saw it, you know, getting up to 231,000 Satoshi, for example. Of course, now we are way back down, nearly half of that value at 161,000 Satoshi. So it's, you know, been a pretty turbulent ride over the past few weeks even for CloakCoin. But let's actually have a look and see, what is it that CloakCoin is trying to do? What is it that they want to do? So CloakCoin is open source. Anybody can go and verify the code. You're more than welcome to go and do that. That's nice. We do like that. Let's talk about the tech specs. What's it actually trying to do? It's a fast coin. How fast is it? 60 seconds. 60 seconds is pretty fast. However, it does have some pretty strong competition from the likes of Verge, which are 5 seconds. 5-second abs. Oh my God. And of course, PIVX, which has the Swift send, which is 1 second. Of course, 60 seconds for a normal send over on PIVX, but if you do want to do the Swift send, it is 1 second. Pretty fast, pretty fast. Of course, how fast do you really need your transaction to be? Isn't 60 seconds fast enough? I feel like that is. I really do. I've never yet come into the situation where 60 seconds was too slow to send my digital money around. But nevertheless, speed is a factor. And it doesn't win on speed, but it's pretty gosh darn fast. Where Cloak really comes in is in its different security features and its different security layers. Now, it has two different options One is the Enigma, which we'll talk about in just a moment, but we'll talk about first the Cloak Shield. So Cloak Shield, they've essentially developed their own version of an onion router. So this is basically what the Tor network uses as well. So essentially, you will send me one CloakCoin, for example, and it'll go to router A, who they still know the final destination, but now where it came from has been, you know, deleted by the time it gets to router B, and so on and so forth. So by the time that it ends up getting to me, it's not seen where it came from because it's been routed through these different layers of the onion, so to speak. Enigma, which is CloakCoin's claim to fame, is a different privacy feature yet again. So this is basically a mixer style privacy feature. We can have a look down here. Basically a mixer style privacy feature. You will ask for, there's no IDs, there's no IPs that are shown in this, by the way. Basically what you'll do, you'll ask for someone to do an Enigma verification for you, and the inputs and the outputs will be given to you, and basically it'll be mixed through multi-layers in order to get that sort of cloaking, so to speak. So it's pretty gosh darn secure in that way. It is probably the best feature about the CloakCoin, that they do have this Enigma feature. How that will compare with other coins moving forward, well, that remains to be seen, but currently it is a fantastic privacy feature, of course. Now, some other things that might make you interested in CloakCoin: it is a proof of stake coin, and it's got actually the best proof of stake in the business. Let's get down here and have a look at it. 6% per annum. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. No one else gives you 6%. The closest are NAV and PIVX. They both give 5%. So that's pretty gosh darn good. That is pretty good. And of course, you know, Ethereum will only be 1% when it gets going. Although Dash does have a higher potential proof of stake, but of course you have to get a master node, which at this point, to get a master node on Dash costs about $300,000. So not for your average person to be able to buy into that. And if you send CloakCoin, it's got a 1.8% fee on any sends, so that might actually make it more expensive to send than some coins. For example, sending PIVX is 0.001 for a regular send, or 0.1 for a Swift send. So if you're doing a Swift send on PIVX, it'll be more. If you're doing a slow send on PIVX, that'll be less of your transaction, especially if you're sending a lot of money. Okay, that 1.8% really can add up, of course, when you're sending large amounts. Now, looking here at the roadmap for CloakCoin, they do have a lot of different things coming up. So, you know, they're working on it. They're actively working to develop things over here on Cloak. So it's definitely a coin that's got people pushing it and that's moving forward. So that is no worry here. That is good to see that they've got a lot of plans for it. So I'm really happy to see that. Pretty active community over here on Twitter, of course. And their other communities are fairly active as well. Now, one thing that I did want to talk about is all the competition. All the competition. If you've been watching the markets, you've probably seen that Aeon, for example, has seen like a 300% growth this week. If you look down here, holy cow. It seems that the market has an insatiable appetite for privacy coins. And even though if we look here at CloakCoin, it's all the way down at, again, you know, that 162,000 Satoshi mark, it does have a lot of room to go back up, especially considering all-time highs were way, way higher than that. 525,000 Satoshi, of course, being the all-time high currently, which is 4 times the current value of CloakCoin. Of course, it's a question whether or not some of these coins will ever get back to that June high or not. Now, some of the really strong coins have already almost made it back there, or are back there currently, or have even surpassed those June highs, of course. Now, let's move on. Bitcoin, of course, remains pretty strong at position 28. in the coin market cap value. Of course, the long-term future of Bitcoin, who knows? It's of course reaching the end of its mining days now. It's almost fully mined, so we'll see what happens with Bitcoin moving forward, especially with so much really strong competition in the marketplace. Verge, of course, has fantastic community support, although its privacy features are a little simpler than some of the other privacy coins in that it is simply a Tor network send. So still very private, of course, but will that make, is it the most private of them all? Well, I don't think so, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Verge has fantastic community support, which really drives the value of this coin, and it should not be underestimated by any means. Zcoin, of course, with the zero knowledge proofs, or the zero coin protocol, as we might like to call it, all ranked all the way down at 100. I know there are a lot of people who are supporting this coin and are very enthusiastic about Zcoin, and it has done very well value-wise recently. Of course, we saw some much bigger spikes back here in June and July, but that does give you a good indication that Zcoin is pretty undervalued at the moment as well. Something to keep in mind. Nav, of course, has been doing pretty well recently, although it's seen a couple difficult weeks as the value has gone down a little bit from that all-time high, but I'm pretty big on Nav, and the 5% staking, of course, is absolutely fantastic. Although the privacy features of Nav do not compare when you compare it, for example, to PIVX or Zcash or CloakCoin. CloakCoin is much more secure than Navcoin. So those are some considerations that you might want to take in if you're looking for the ultimate in privacy. Navcoin may not be the coin for you. Of course, they do have new features coming out soon that may change that a little bit, so stay tuned to that space. PIVX, of course, fantastic privacy coin. They will soon be implementing the zero coin protocol, which makes the question, well, why do we need Zcoin if PIVX has the zero coin protocol? Interesting questions to ask, of course. But again, the market appetite for privacy coins seems to be totally insatiable right now, and all the privacy coins seem to be hitting. Even Aeon, which I had kind of counted out, to be honest, but I should know better than to count out any privacy coin because the market goes crazy for them. So even Aeon has done very, very well recently. Now, moving on, of course, to Zcash. Now, Zcash has been a real love-hate story for a lot of people. You know, it's remained very high. It's basically been in the top 20 forever, although the price has not done anything mind-blowing recently. Even though we've seen big jump-ups in the market cap, for example, the actual Satoshi value hasn't gone too crazy. And of course, let's just look at the 1 month here. Give us a little better picture of what's been going on. We did see this big pump recently as Zcash got listed on Korean exchanges, and then right back down to Zcash's kind of fairly normal value around the 5 million Satoshi mark. So that seems to be where Zcash has been kind of happily hanging out around these days, between 5 and 6 million Satoshis. So not too bad. Not too bad, of course. Zcash is a fantastic privacy coin, though, so I would be watching out for that to do a bit better in the future. But it's a fairly simple coin as well. And of course, it has a lot of competition, a lot of coins that are of much lower value that have much higher potential. For example, if we go back to, look at the circulating supply here, we got 2.3 million. If we go back to Zcoin, for example, only 3.1 million. And of course, with a similar, very similar package to Zcash. So, you know, if you're looking for a coin to get big gains on, go for something like Zcoin over Zcash, because there's a lot more room for Zcoin to grow, whereas Zcash has already seen a lot of that growth. And yes, it does have spikes and all that, but I don't think we're ever going to see Zcash go back to the point where it was worth 6 Bitcoin, you know, some years ago. But if you are looking for that growth, something like Zcoin offers a much better potential. Or CloakCoin, obviously, that's the coin we're talking about in this video. CloakCoin, of course, as well. You know, very low circulating supply, only 5 million cloak currently in existence. It does have a 6% inflation per year, although they say the rate is a bit lower than that, because obviously, even though staking gets you 6%, that of course requires you to have your wallet online 24/7, and most people don't do that, so you actually lose out on those staking rewards. So the actual rate of inflation is lower than 6%. So something to keep in mind as well. And of course, Zcash doesn't give you a staking reward, so sad day for Zcash in that regard. Now, Monero, back down below 100 bucks. Of course, 2,147,000 Satoshi. At the moment, Monero has been doing fantastic over the past few months, even though the value is currently down significantly from its all-time highs. Monero still has a fantastic potential for growth moving forward. It is one of the top privacy coins, of course, consistently ranked in the top 15, I would say. And this is something that is really, really interesting and should definitely grab your attention if you are a Monero enthusiast, if you're mining Monero, if you're looking to buy Monero. Now the price is down a little bit, and do watch for a lower price dip on Monero, because that certainly is definitely possible. Now this is something called ZK Starks. More privacy features, guys. It's crazy. It's crazy. There are more. The privacy tech arms race is well and truly underway. You know, if you thought that the zero coin protocol was the be all end all, no. Apparently we can get even more private than that. And that is where ZK Starks come in. And this is something that is being proposed for Monero. So the idea here is that with ZK Snarks, that is what Zcash uses, that there is the potential for problems. Essentially that we have to trust that the Zcash team actually destroyed the master keys, but there's no proof of that, because obviously the proof of that would have exposed master keys, right? So it's a tricky situation, whereas ZK Starks are trying to eliminate that altogether. And so they would have basically a continual algorithm that would be, you know, continually performed like when mining Bitcoin, for example. So it would be a continual process of random numbers moving forward. And of course, the one thing that's pretty exciting about ZK Starks versus ZK Snarks is that it requires much less, by scales, computing power. A ZK Snark transaction, of course, taking 18.9 gigabytes to compute, which is massive, absolutely massive. You guys ever think about how much crazy amount of computing power is being thrown away moving transactions back and forth? And anybody who says that digital currencies don't have real world value has no idea what they're talking about, because all the computing power that is being spent to generate and to move these coins is way more than, for example, the energy that is spent on paper and ink to print US dollars, for example. You should keep that in mind anytime someone tells you that cryptocurrencies don't have any real world value. Oh, they do. Oh, they do. So that is a really interesting development. Of course, Ethereum is implementing ZK Snarks, not ZK Snarks, that's a Monero thing. ZK Snarks will be implemented on Ethereum, which will of course make Ethereum a competitor in the privacy space. Holy cow. Holy cow. Have you guys heard this news? Litecoin is even thinking about getting into the privacy space. This is Charlie Lee, and Charlie Lee over here is talking about that privacy features are one of the things that he would like to see added to Litecoin. Holy cow! Holy cow, how many privacy coins do we need? Apparently a lot, and the market absolutely loves them. Look, I know we've been talking around about a lot of different privacy coins here, but let's go back to the original point of this video, which is to talk to an extent about CloakCoin. And I think it's hard to talk about any individual privacy coin without actually mentioning the others, because there's so much competition right now in the privacy space. Look, I think that CloakCoin does bring some good features to the privacy coin space. Obviously, Enigma is a powerful mixer and a powerful tool in the privacy space. Obviously, their regular send as well, with their own style of Tor onion. But I don't know. There's a lot of competition. I think you would definitely do well investing in CloakCoin and staking your CloakCoin at the 6% per year. It seems that any privacy coin you invest in at this time does offer you a great potential for return. Obviously, the ones that I think have the most promise personally, NAV, PIVX, and Monero. Obviously, though, Verge has a massive community behind it and has performed fantastically well recently. Zcoin has a lot of supporters for it as well. And look, CloakCoin cannot be counted out. It is currently 102 on the market cap and is super undervalued at a $35 million market cap. So keep an eye on CloakCoin. Anyway, guys, you know what time it is. Hit me up in the comment section down below if I missed anything here, important of course, or if you are a supporter of CloakCoin, let us know how it's going. How's staking been going for you? Has it been paying off quite well? Are you getting that 6%? Let us know about it in the comment section down below. Long live the blockchain, guys, and peace out till next time.